Not a big deal. Are we ready? Are you sure? Okay, here we go. So in front of you, sorry, not in front of you yet. In front of you now. Tate, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. All right, yesterday we learned about animations, right? You brought in a still photograph that we downloaded from Canvas. If you weren't here yesterday, it's imperative that you go back in Canvas and watch yesterday's lesson. We brought in a picture and we learned how to animate it. Today we build upon that. Today we are going to learn how to make our own custom transitions between two video clips. And it has a lot to do with what we did yesterday with our picture. It was actually the logo of SeaWorld. So, in review of yesterday, I took an establishing shot. Let's just pretend this is my establishing shot. I took my SeaWorld logo, which is in now my main folders here, and I drug that over. And I was able to click on my SeaWorld photo and mess with a lot of these options in motion and in opacity and in time remapping. I was able to create a custom animation for my SeaWorld logo so that when I played that, it didn't just stay there like a bump on a log, Chris Little. It stayed, it did all kinds of fun things, right? Right, that was yesterday. Today, I really want to do something else cool. I do not want to be limited to, let's pretend I have these two clips, okay? We learned last week that I can create a transition between these two clips by coming over to my effects bin, looking at video transitions, and let's say grabbing a cross dissolve and putting them there, okay? If you get warnings, not always the end of the world. I can select that transition and make it bigger. I can do all kinds of cool things with that, right? We learned that last week. So now it cross dissolves. There's a nice transition. Sorry, I'm going to mute that so we don't have to deal with the sound. Okay, that was last week. But I don't want to be limited to just these video transitions that they have here preset. A cool thing is that we can go out on the internet and we can download video transitions unique to what other people have created and bring them into Adobe Premiere Pro. But let's say I want to make my own cool transition. Or maybe not even cool, but I want to make my own transition. Here's the first step. I can't have a transition when I make my own custom transition of two videos on the same timeline. It just doesn't make sense because this timeline works where it'll come to the end of one clip and start the other. And a lot of times on transitions, we want a buffer. So we want one to start while the other one is playing. Now also remember, when I press play on this, Adobe always reads the video that's on top. So it's going to read this Hugging Whale video instead of Hugs Whale. All right, so J Hugs Whale is now covered up by L Hugging Whale. Okay, I want to create a custom transition between the two of those clips. So I'm going to put this offset a little bit. The proper amount of time that it has to be offset is really up to you. But you want to give it enough time where one will have some overlap of the other, and it'll make more sense here in a second. Okay, so today I want you to do this, all right, and overlap these two. You will click on the video that's on top and come up to Effect Controls. A lot of time it's going to show this, your preview, but I want to click on Effect Controls. Okay, of this video. Got it so far? And you are going to still come to these options. You also have an option of audio. We're not going to mess with that right now. We are going to do options on motion and on opacity and on time remapping, just like we did yesterday. You now have that mini timeline that we talked about yesterday up here. This is the timeline of only the clip that I have selected. And you want to start at the very beginning of that clip. And let's say I want this clip to come in from the left-hand side. So my marker's at the beginning. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to drag it off. I'm sorry, right-hand side. I'm going to drag it off to the side, and I'll have to click this stopwatch to set a keyframe. These are the keyframes we learned about yesterday. So now I know when I press play, it's on the right-hand side. But I don't want it to stay there. I want it to move. So I'm going to move forward a few seconds here. And I'm going to, I didn't show you this yesterday, but I'm going to show you today. A good way to reset it to where it was is just click this button here. Remember, you have to move this marker to what the timeline is that you want it to reset. So on position, I can click this reset button, and it now goes back to where it was, and it sets a new keyframe. Okay? So now when I play it, the next video is coming in from the side. You could tell that's far too slow, so I'm going to drag this keyframe over here. Let's do it a little quicker. Okay? Still a little slow, but not as bad. Let's go now there. All right? Better. So just like we learned about yesterday, you can now add position, motion, animations to our videos as well, as long as you have it selected. One thing I didn't share with you yesterday is if this is coming, let's say this is really close. If that transition or that animation is coming to an abrupt stop at the end, where it just like magnetizes to the end, you can right click on this keyframe and go to temporal interpolation and go ease in or ease out, and it changes that keyframe to like an hourglass figure. So now when you play it, it's just a little bit softer. It kind of, at the end, it kind of softens its way in to the frame instead of magnetizing and just eases in. Okay, now also the cool thing is you can do multiple of these animations at one time. Back at the start, if I click on scale and I want it to go from 0, which is super small, and then I click the stopwatch, and then at my keyframe, I want it just past the keyframe maybe. I want it to be full size. Now when I do that, it sets a new keyframe. I'm going to soften that again. Okay? And when I press play, not only does it come in from the right-hand side, but it also goes from 0, which is almost invisible, to 100%. So that's a unique thing that you can do. You can also do rotation, just like we did yesterday. Back at the start, if I click rotation and I want it to do, I don't know, -360. Okay? Click the stopwatch. That's where I want it to start. It sets a keyframe for rotation. And then when I get to just past the size, I want to reset it. It sets a new keyframe. Let's soften that. Now it's going to do 3 things. It's going to come in from the right. It's going to spin. It's going to get bigger. And then voila, softly lands where I want it to land. Okay? You can also do opacity. Opacity, remember, comes from invisible to being seen, 100%. Let's start with 0, so it's invisible. Click the stopwatch, drag my timeline, reset it, sets a new keyframe. Let's ease it in. Now it's going to do 4 things. You guys get the point? Do you guys get the point? Yeah. Great. Time remapping. I can drop time remapping. When I start, it could be at 0%. This will be interesting, what we can do here. I don't know that I can time remap because I've done all the others. Oh, I clicked the stopwatch too soon. Sorry. So when I start, I can go up time remapping. I can't mess with since I'm doing so many other things. All right. So play with this today. Your goal is to have one custom animation transition and your project by the end of your project. So let's review something. Let's go to Canvas. Friday. Thursday for you guys, really. Before you leave here on Thursday, you should submit it. The interwebs are not interwebbing. Maybe I have it downloaded. I do not. Let's go to SeaWorld. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. All right, so my rubric, looking at the SeaWorld project. Okay, we've done all these things so far. You should have your project saved with your last name. Okay, we've done these things. I would like for you to really focus on what you need down here. Variety of clips used. Make sure you're using at least 8 video clips. Make sure you're using at least 3 or 4 sound effects. Make sure you're using at least one of the bars of music. And you will have to have the animation of your logo, the SeaWorld logo, and a custom animation transition in your end project. Okay? All of those things. Tomorrow we'll learn about something else. So I'm going to give you time now to work on your SeaWorld project. When is it due? Before you leave here on Thursday. When or how long is your SeaWorld project? Exactly 2 minutes. Godspeed. Yes?